Okay, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, there was a call that took place yesterday. I received it from Mr. Ramsey. As I told you, I was going to leave a message. I played that message online,
Call
and
from
so here is the
Barry
call.
Ramsey.
to accept.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm returning a call to EeoN, I believe is the name. My name is Barry Ramsey. I work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Mr. Ramsey, could you hold on? I had another call. And
Yeah, gladly.
just one
Yep.
second.
Hi there. Thanks for holding. I'm gonna transfer you now.
No, you don't have to. I'll call back, okay? Tell Mr. McAdams that, yes, I'm positive. I have another call coming in, so I'll call back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. I apologize.
No, not a problem. So, how are you today?
I am having a horrible day, but that has nothing to do with you or anyone else. It's a health
sorry.
issue. I have muscular dystrophy, and so the weather
Okay.
has changed, and so it's causing me some discomfort.
Okay.
I
Are you in a
didn't want to take up. No, I can't be in the cold. So I am in California, so I have to be in an area to where it's not cold. But the weather has changed to a 20 degrees cooler than it was.
Yeah.
I was calling because we have been dealing with the issue of it's not so much 7 CFR 1901.508. That's not the issue that we are raising. We're raising the general principle behind that particular code, that the bank is supposed to receive this note. It is supposed to be properly endorsed. It is supposed to be sent to the Treasury, and it's supposed to be paid off. But the question to the USDA that we have, especially regarding the, the single-family home loan guarantee program, is that these single-family home loan guarantees are not being guaranteed. They're still allowing the banks to foreclose on these homes, even though they have mortgage insurance. And when we called into the USDA to talk about this, we would hear them say, yes, we know we've had a problem with this, and we've been discussing that, trying to figure out how to deal with it. But these people are being kicked out of their homes, and people are trying to figure out how to deal with it, but you're still allowing the banks to kick them out of their home. That's our problem.
Right. Okay. So this is something totally different than the 1901.508.
Exactly.
So,
and I want to apologize to you. The young lady who...
Now, they're having a conversation right now, and during that conversation,
told me what she said, and
what's happening is that we are not going to play that part of the conversation because it talks about a call that he received, and I basically am having that conversation. 1 second.
And I don't know what was...
Okay, now we're going to play this.
I understand, and I apologize.
Okay, so the loan guarantee program is a guarantee of the bank's loss or the mortgage company's loss. It's not a guarantee to make payments or to
we understand.
Make homes. So what the bank is required to do in order to collect on the guarantee is to first liquidate the security, because if the security isn't liquidated, then there isn't even a loss to guarantee.
But then that's the issue of the mortgage insurance. You see, before they can liquidate the guarantee, they have to apply for the insurance, because that's part of the contractual agreement, the deed of trust.
Well, the guarantee claim that's filed is done with the USDA and the holder of the guarantee.
Yes.
Once a loss has been determined, and so we're not insuring someone's timely payments.
We understand that. You're only insuring the actual amount loaned.
90% of the loan is guaranteed.
Yes, up to 115, but at least 90, but it can be up to 115% based on the code.
No, 115% is the income limit. So the median income of the county is then multiplied by 115, and that's the maximum income to receive a guarantee.
Well, that's what I mean. I got that part, but when it comes to them receiving the funds back at par value, the code actually says it can be up to 115%. Me and Mr. Gene Elkins, we went over that previously.
I know Gene personally, who retired a few years ago. But
yes.
Anyway, well, the guarantee is limited to 90% of the original note amount.
Okay.
If a bank made a $100,000 loan to a customer,
$90,000,
then and then $90,000 is the maximum claim. That's the maximum exposure to the government. But they first have to liquidate the underlying security. So if there's a mortgage, they would have to foreclose the mortgage or approve a short sale or a deed in lieu of foreclosure, and then they could file a claim for the loss if they're in the loss.
Where does the code say that?
Okay, I can pull it up for you.
Because if it's a rural development loan, they couldn't foreclose on a loan without a letter from the Federal Housing Administration.
I don't think that's correct. But
yes, the Federal Housing Act of 1934 requires that. Also of 49 and 2001. The Uniform Non-Judicial Foreclosure Act also requires that letter from the HUD Secretary authorizing the foreclosure, because it's a government loan. So in order for the banks to foreclose on a government loan, they would have to get approval from the government, which is the FHA Secretary's office.
Yeah. Our regulation allows the lender to foreclose when the loan is in default.
Yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. That the law says that. It's just that the actual code says that they will need a letter from the FHA because it is a government loan. See, the government has to guarantee that they followed due process before foreclosing. See, they were running into problems with banks just foreclosing on people's homes. You've heard the stories about people being kicked out of their home, being foreclosed on, and the banks didn't even have a claim to the property. So the government has always required that they get a letter from the FHA to prove that they went through the due diligence.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't deal in FHA loans, so.
No. This is not just the FHA. This is the government requires under the Federal Housing Act that it comes from the FHA Secretary, and how he delegates it to whatever other office, then that's a different thing.
Right. So, okay. If you're asking about the losses covered by guarantees, the regulation on that is 7 CFR 3555.351. And that's for guaranteed loans, not insured or direct loans.
No, and I understand.
Okay. You asked for a citation, so I was just looking that up for you.
I will definitely take a look at that. Now, my thing is, the Department of Agriculture could not require the banks to secure that home when that home has default insurance, which is there to protect the lender should the borrower default. The banks are foreclosing on these homes while the property has insurance, and it is stipulated in a deed of trust that they are to apply for the insurance. We're finding that the banks are applying for the insurance only after they kick the person out of the home. And we're not able to get these financial records. Now, there's a two-part question. We want to know, how do we go about getting a financial record showing the homes that have been foreclosed on that were single-family guaranteed home loan program homes, and how do we get the financial records on the actual insurances that was applied for by these banks regarding these single-family guaranteed home loan program homes?
Okay. So what financial records are you looking for?
The actual financial accounting, the comprehensive financial records. You see, the banks are claiming that there is an amount due, and the party hasn't paid. And there's some other little laws that I'm not going to mention, the acts that declared the national emergency and all of that stuff. But, well, actually, the acts that led to the Federal Housing Acts specify different ways that properties may be paid off, especially with that endorsement. See, that's why people have been calling about the endorsement. Once the bank puts that endorsement on there and they tender that to the Treasury, that is supposed to go ahead and receive that obligation payment from the Treasury. Okay. Yeah. We have not been figuring out who handles the endorsed notes at the Federal Department of Agriculture.
No one does because that regulation is for insured notes.
No. You're misunderstanding. I understand. I'm not talking about 1901.508. I'm talking about who handles endorsed notes. See, that note only refers to the loan guarantee program. We are referring to loans that are not part of that particular program, but part about the other government guaranteed loans.
Okay.
In 1980, Ronald Reagan and Congress decided to back up all loans with government guarantee. All conventional home loans are secured by government guarantee.
Well, that's not true there.
Really?
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
Interesting, because as a child, I watched the news every day, and I sat there and I listened to the man. And so I made it a point since then, since I've been finding out about these so-called crises that they've been having with mortgages, to go back and look at the laws that created that. You'll see that the Federal Housing Act of 1948 speaks exactly to that point. And also the Federal Emergency Relief Act of 1933, May 12, 1933, speaks to that very point. So when I say that the government says that it would cover these loans given as a guarantee because the banks were afraid to lend money in the 80s, because they said, what if we don't get our money back? Why are we going to lend to these people when they can't pay us? That's when the government stepped up and offered their guarantee.
Right. So there are 3 guaranteed programs for home mortgages by the United States. There's the USDA Rural Development Guarantee, or the Rural Housing Program.
And VA
and that's and VA is another, and FHA is the third.
Yes.
The Federal Housing Administration.
Yes.
And then but most of the mortgages made in the United States don't fall into those 3 categories. Most of the mortgages are made by mortgage companies and banks without any federal insurance, and they get private mortgage insurance on those. If they're adjustable rate loans, they typically hold them in portfolio with no other guarantee other than the private mortgage insurance. And they don't even require the private mortgage insurance if the customer has a 20% down payment.
20% down payment, yes, understand that. What we're doing is we're asking about the homes that do fall under the guarantee that they're still foreclosing on. See, I actually know a veteran, his name is Daniel, and Daniel's home was just foreclosed on after 30 years, and he's a veteran.
Right.
Despite the fact that the home had a guarantee on the loan.
Right.
And it also had mortgage insurance. So we're having this... Go ahead.
It wouldn't have had both. There wouldn't be mortgage insurance.
Sir,
guaranteed.
His home, honestly, had both. I've taken a look at the policy. That's why I'm speaking about his in particular. Not only did he have a guaranteed loan, but he also had insurance on his mortgage that he paid the premium out of the payments monthly. And he still lost his home. So that's why we're asking these questions. Now, there has to be a particular department we know that the Single-Family Home Loan Guarantee Program handles the Single-Family Home Loan Guarantee Program endorsed notes. We don't know which department in that department handles the endorsed notes, but we do know that they handle endorsed notes. There has to be...
there are the endorsed notes for the loan guarantee program. So
there are no endorsed notes with the loan guarantee program?
Correct. No, the lender makes the loan, and they sell that loan into a mortgage-backed security, so that's where the endorsed note is it's not with a government agency.
Well, here's the thing. The code actually says that the notice to be endorsed. So there has to be a department with the USDA because you're the Director of Finance Office location, which is what the code says. So there has to be a department that handles endorsed notes because the code says that it goes to a particular department.
So when we don't make loans that we endorse and sell to investors.
No, not that you endorse. No. Endorsed notes, not endorsed loans, endorsed notes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it says the notice to be endorsed, and it gives the specific instructions. And I am one who actually endorsed the note and paid it.
But endorsing a note that you don't own has no effect.
Oh, actually, it did. We received a letter back from the bank saying that the note is fully paid off and that they'll be attempting to make no further attempts to collect on that fund.
That's fine if a bank agreed to that.
No, this was done through the USDA.
No, it wasn't.
That's the reason why I was in touch with Gene Elkins.
Sure.
I did it.
So if you've got a loan that USDA paid off because of an endorsement,
you better believe
then I'd love to see that example.
Okay, so, I give you the title of the video. Did a full length of videos on it.
No, I want you to send me the loan documents.
Oh, I'll send you the actual paperwork. I don't have a problem doing that. But I'll also send you the video because the video has all the documents.
That'd be great. So I could get down to the bottom because I think there's some miscommunication going on here. So I want to make sure that.
Oh no! If you pay attention to me, and I'm not being argumentative. I'm very specific when I speak.
Sure.
And I have to be that way because I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying because that happens a lot.
So do you have my email address? I'll give you an email address and you can send me any documentation or YouTube videos that you have.
Go right ahead. I am waiting.
Yep. It's Barry, BARRY, .Ramsey, RAMSEY, at wdc.usda.gov.
Okay, I got the complete sentence. I have Barry Ramsey with the dot in the middle at WDC, and then we have .usda.gov.
You got it.
Okay.
That would be great. And
the only thing we still haven't gotten to who handles the endorsed notes once they are endorsed.
So no one does, because that program doesn't exist. But I don't expect you to believe me. I'm just telling you the truth.
I wasn't asking about a program. I just know that you guys receive endorsed notes on one level or another because the code says that you're to receive endorsed notes. Look at 1901.508. Says
I know what it says.
Okay, so I need to know, per the code and per the intentions of Congress, who's operating that portion of the code with the United States Department of Agriculture? That's the question that I've been asking.
Right, and you know what the answer is, right? Or the answer is no one.
Code?
That's right.
Okay. Now, how do I go about getting that in writing so that when I go to the federal district court and I show them this, that someone is blocking access to individuals properly discharging their mortgages, I can show that the USDA is not following the code?
If you send me the email, I'll respond in writing to your email.
Okay. Well, I guess that's the best I can ask for.
Yeah, I'll be glad to put it in writing to you. So, we're getting quite a few, calls on this, probably as a result of your video.
Oh, it's as a result of me. Yes, I have a very big following. In less than a year, we have over 1 million views, and I don't advertise, but people trust me because I'm very good at research, and I'm very good at asking questions, and I don't argue, I don't debate, I don't scream, I don't holler. When people don't answer my questions, such as not
I appreciate you being respectful.
The code, I find that very, very disheartening to find that my government employees are not providing us the answers that they're required to provide us by law. That your organization is not following the code, and you are by law required to follow the code. Very difficult to that.
Okay. Well, the regulation that you're citing is certificates of beneficial ownership and insured notes.
It's still an endorsed note. It's still an endorsed note. And I was asking who handles endorsed notes. See, that's only one aspect of endorsed notes.
I'm just looking at the code now, so it talks about certificates of beneficial ownership and insured notes.
Yes, but go down to that section, C1, section I and II. It speaks specifically of taking an endorsed note along with the insurance agreement, which is already part of the note because the insurance is part of the note, and sending it to the Director of Finance Office, who upon receipt will acknowledge receipt of that note and issue payment at par value at the rate of the Treasury check. So that endorsed note gets a payment. So I needed to know who handles endorsed notes.
Sure. So 1901.508 says servicing insured notes.
Yes, I know.
So these are notes.
The particular section that I was mentioning to you. I'm not talking about the whole section.
But you can't take just one piece out of context. You have to read the whole paragraph.
Do it all the time. Congress intends the law to be that way. When you talk about the Act, the Federal Housing Act, we don't take the entire Act into consideration to figure out how does the Department of Agriculture handle its single-family home loan guarantee program. That's only one part of the Act. Now, if you want to put everything in context, then we have to take the whole Federal Housing Administration Act into context. But we're not supposed to do that. We take it by section because that's how it's to be applied. I'm only asking about endorsed notes.
Okay.
I know it's talking about investors and outstanding notes with investors. I know the code. I read the whole thing. But I'm specifically talking about who handles endorsed notes because that's an endorsed note.
But the endorsement back to rural development for payment would have to come from the owner of that note.
That's fine. It says that the holder of the note shall endorse it as follows, and the holder of the note shall deliver it to blah blah blah. I understand that, but I'm not talking about who is to deliver it. I'm asking who handles endorsed notes.
Okay. So again, it's the owner of the note, and to my knowledge, there aren't any owners of notes out there that were insured by rural development.
Okay, so let's say if there were, who handles endorsed notes?
It says the finance office at 1520 Market Street, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, that's fine. That's an address. I'm asking who, not where.
Yeah.
I say I'm very specific because I have to be. That's been my question from the beginning of this conversation, is who, so that I know who to talk to.
Okay.
Okay, I will go ahead and let you go because you're a busy person, and I want to thank you, and I'll get that email to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry this isn't going to be helpful, but I'm happy to respond in writing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon.
Hi, is this EeoN?
This is he. Sorry, I was in the call. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. No problem. This is.
I apologize for that coming on, but y'all need to give me 1 second and I'll finish this conversation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:27 in the morning, and for the last hour, I have been preparing my day because my day doesn't start until 8:30. And before I did that, I played the beginning of this video for you. Now, if you notice, he never answered any of my questions per se. It was a 24-minute conversation, but he never answered any of my questions. But you did see that I kept the conversation going. The two questions are, how do we get the financial records? So let's do FOIA requests for the financial records on the Single Family Guaranteed Home Loan Program, and that's the exact title, Single Family Guaranteed Home Loan Program. Let's write Mr. Ramsey, Barry, B-A-R-R-Y, Ramsey. Let's do so in a nice way. Let's do a FOIA request, and you're going to place on the document FOIA request. Please forward this to the proper department, and we're going to ask for the financial records for the past 5 years of all single-family guaranteed home loans that have been foreclosed on in the past 5 years. And we want the comprehensive financial accounting to include notes, ledgers, references, and term definitions. Now remember, this is public records. These are government loans. And so you want to explain, I know that this is a government loan. And because it is a government loan, it is a part of public records with the exception, and this is what you want to make sure of any personal identification numbers of the actual borrower. But that the financial institution involved, and that's right, there will be a financial institution because these are financial records, information is not privileged. That's the first thing you want from them. Now that's the question he didn't answer. And then we want to do a FOIA request on receiving a copy of all records associated with the Single Family Home Loan Guarantee Program, for which there is an endorsed note in compliance with 1901.508. We don't want them, now I want you to make sure, you want to stipulate that we are not looking for information that does not specifically and directly involve a home that has a single family guaranteed loan program participation that was not endorsed and payment not made as a result of the endorsed note in compliance with 1901.508. So we only want information concerning endorsed notes in compliance with 1901.508. FOIA requests, ladies and gentlemen. Now, mind you, because of this video, you might have a difficult time getting him to communicate with you. Ooh, doggy! He did say, as you heard in the video, many of you have been calling in. The part that I blanked out, that I muted, was a portion where we're talking about a particular individual who called him a clone. And as I said then, I say now, you guys cannot call these people and speak to them disrespectfully. You remember I called him my government servants. I referred to how my government servants can do this or do that. My government servants can't do this or do that. They're my government servants. Now, we don't talk to them that way. We don't demand things and tell them, oh, because you're my servant, you must do what I say. This is not a dictatorship. This is you're letting them know that you recognize that they're public servants, which is the reason I can play the audio on YouTube. First, I did tell him that I would let all of you know. I'm letting all of you know. Second, he's a public servant. He's a government employee, which means none of his conversations there in his capacity as an employee of the federal government are privileged conversations. Nothing the government does is private, ladies and gentlemen. That's why when you hear them talking about government surveillance and privacy acts and the government has no privacy. Remember, it is a public government. Even after, pay attention, 1933, The act that made it a national emergency did not make government private. Government in America can never be private. Government can never be privately owned. What all of you don't understand is the government has never been privately owned. Yes, there have been government-sponsored corporations, such as the United States, but there has never been United States of America is a corporation, because there could never be. There are some people who are saying, well, the corporation ended and blah, blah. The corporation or the United States of America or any other thing has never ended. United States of America still continues to exist. The only thing is your access to the availment of that does not exist. Now, we've come up with several things to help people. We'll keep you informed. Now, I have to go. I'll be doing another video later showing you guys about government obligations. A young man named Ron sent me the information on government obligations. What I'm going to do, now he did try to initially, when he sent it to me, he did try to initially tell me what the Supreme Court said according to what he understood what the Supreme Court said. Ladies and gentlemen, before I do that video, and I will do that video, we're going to talk about this right here. Do you see that? Supreme Court Smith versus Davis, 323 US 111. Now, you don't have to put all the rest of this. You just go to Google and type in this, and you'll be able to pull up this case. Now, Justia, U.S. Supreme Court are always U.S. Supreme Court decision. Okay, well, you're going to find that it's always going to be legal opinion, because you see it says supremejustia.com. Okay, now sometimes they'll carry appellate decision. Why? Because from the appeals court goes to the, pay attention, Supreme Court. Now, pay attention, this is certiorari to the Supreme Court of Georgia. Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about this case in another video. But while you have the time, go over it now. Now, I just want to say something to y'all. I'm going to play this just for a second. This is Taylor Mason. And I want y'all to hear what Taylor has to say. 1 second.
Hola, his name is Paco. ¿Cómo está, señor? Let's not go there, okay? ¿Dónde es el restaurante, señor? Paco, sí. Let's not go there. Taco, tico, rico, chico. Paco? Entiendo, rico. Paco, sí. I do not speak Spanish. You don't? No. But I do? Yes. You don't think that's a little weird? No, I don't. Let's do our thing. Gracias, señor. Thank you. Can we just do our thing? It's a good crowd. It's a very good crowd. Is it women? There are women. Hola. Okay. All right. Paco and I have been together for many, many years. Is it a nice crowd, senor? We're in Florida. I'm going to die. No, you're not. No, you're not. They're very friendly. They're hungry. No, they're not. You don't know that. Look at them. What, they're salivating. Come on. Is it good crowd? They're very nice people. We're in Florida. Who are your favorite people in all of Florida? The Jewish people. The Jewish people, they leave me alone. Okay, all right.
Okay, now the only reason why I'm showing him is because I didn't know anything about Taylor Mason. I like ventriloquism. I actually have liked it since I was a child. A lot of religions have taught that ventriloquism is evil because Satan used ventriloquism in the Garden of Eden with the serpent talking to the woman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very unique art. It's not so much as whether or not the person moves their mouths. Pay attention.
Unlike the Christians. All right. Look at them. Okay. They see me as a walking, talking sausage. Okay.
Okay. Now, his mouth, you can see it moving, but it's very minimum. The thing that you need to pay attention to is his ability to throw his voice, to where it actually appears that the item that he has in his hand, let's bring this down, is doing the talking. We're going to bring, he has another, well, he has the two pigs. I don't want the pigs. I want Romeo. He also does, not that. I don't want that one. Give me a second. Looking for this. I haven't seen this routine by this gentleman. He's at some little quitting thing, but at least that's what they call it. But I'm not interested in where he's performing. I'm more interested in the actual performer. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can hit play.
The wig is from a theater shop. The white part of his eyes, that's a ping pong ball. The eyebrows that go up and down. What's up, girl? All right, all right, all right. Okay. You meet a beautiful woman in Apopka, Florida. What? Apopka, Florida. Whoa, career move. Okay, all right, all right. Next week, Winter Garden. Okay, all right, all right, all right. You meet a beautiful woman in Florida. What do you say? Girl, okay, I'm retired. Okay, all right, all right. Work for Alan. Come on, come on. Alan, all right. Take out the garbage. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. You're out of control. Good crowd? It's an awesome crowd. Can we just do our thing? You are so obnoxious. Where are the pigs? The pigs are on the floor. What are you guys doing? We're staring at the man. Dude, do not stare at the thought that you'll go psycho. Okay. I was real once. Okay, Romeo.
Okay, so let me explain his little routine. I can't go back because of how the screen is. See, you see how it threw me way back? And I don't want to go way back. I want to go, let's go. I want to show you the Allen guy so you'll see who he was talking about. Let's go. Nope, not there, not there, not there, not there. Uh-oh, too late. Can't find Allen. Well, anyway. The routine here, this is Paco. And he has a routine with this particular character. He does the same routine every show he does. He just adds a couple of little new things. I am not showing this for anything other than the fact because many people probably have seen Mr. Taylor Mason before. But let me explain to you about my first watching Taylor Mason. I don't laugh at a lot of comedy because a lot of comedy is so... it's so ununique. They have to use cursing and they have to talk about sex or they have to talk about something really embarrassing to shock your conscience. Hold on 1 second.
Just, where are the pigs? The pigs are on the floor. What are you guys doing? We're staring at the man.
Okay, his routine is with the pigs, he set them down and he literally says that he's going to set the pig down. He asks the pig, what's the pig doing? The pig says, I'm staring at the man. And this pig says, I'm staring at the man. And so he leaves them there just to stare. And so while they're there, he brings in the other characters and they continue to say,
Dude, do not stare at the thought that you'll go psycho. Okay. I was real once. Okay, Romeo.
Then he has this thing, and I'm just going to tell a little bit of it, that the puppet Romeo says that he went to Match.com and he listed himself as a mannequin American, like an Afro-American. He listed himself as a mannequin American. And the joke is that he also said he was into pyrotronics. And that's in the fireworks and fire and all that stuff. And he said he was looking for a match. And so his jokes are punny, to say the least. But the fact is, the very first time I saw this man, I actually laughed at his jokes. Why? Because when you're watching him, you're not paying attention to his lips. He actually has you focusing on the character.
Can we just do our thing? All right, these are hardworking people. I wish I could work. Yeah?
and you actually
that's a great
look
thing.
at the person
Everybody needs to work. That's
and
one of the biggest things going on in the
character
country now.
that he
Put people back
has,
to work. Really?
you look
Yes.
at
What would
their
you like to
mouth,
do? I'd like to
and
be a
you
golf
actually
announcer.
literally
golf
start to
announcer.
believe in the stupid character. That's
Awesome. Why golf
real.
announcer? All they do is whisper. They work 2 days a week and they do this. They make no effort at all. Do you know why they whisper? Yes, they don't want to wake the people who are watching at home. Come on.
Okay. Uh-oh. Didn't want to do that. I'm trying to actually stop it. All right. Basically, as I said, he actually made me laugh. I was playing this in the background yesterday, and he actually had me laughing. Now, I'm not suggesting that you guys go and watch it, but I'm saying that I don't get a lot of entertainment. With all of the stuff that I have going on and all of the stress and all of the things I'm worried about and doing, there is an outlet. And stuff like this is an outlet from time to time. The other outlet is just unplugging from all of you. And I do that occasionally. Now, this is also why I will not, and I'm not going to be answering people's emails. I don't care if you are desperate. I don't care if you are in a situation to where, oh, you're my last hope. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's not my problem, because we don't have a contract to where I said that I will be there for you because I'm your last hope. We don't have that type of contract, ladies and gentlemen. So please understand that you don't come first. The people come first. But I'm one of the people. That's right. You're just one. Okay? If you want to understand about being one, go and listen to Mr. What is his name? Now I can't think of the man's name, and I know he sings Back to One. And dang it, Michael something. Anyway, now I can't think of his name, and we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what his name is, because y'all know me. Hold on, this is Sly and the Family Stone, and they're singing Stan, and I like Stan, y'all. I'm sorry that Mr. Sly is gone. Oh, BACK21OME. Brian McKnight, said Michael. That I was getting a Mike call, McKnight. So Brian McKnight, back to one. If you want to find out about being one, then you can talk to Brian McKnight, and Brian McKnight can let you know about how you are one and how he wants to take you back to one. However, I don't focus on the one that is selfish. If you want to be selfish, you be selfish. Most of the time, people are emailing me about their selfish pursuits. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand. I can't stand selfishness. I hate, pay attention to the word, hate selfishness. But then that's okay, because we're taught to be selfish. You remember, you must love your neighbor as yourself. So in order to love your neighbor, you have to love yourself. So there is some selfishness in our lives. We were created that way. However, I hate selfishness. You feel me? Well, if you don't feel me, it's okay. I just need to let you know. So when you call me and you can't polish it up, you can't straighten it out, you can't say, oh, look, I'm not selfish. Here, I'm providing information to you to help others. And if you can provide any information for me to help others, I'd appreciate it. That bull crap don't work, ladies and gentlemen. It don't work. You cannot. There is a gentleman on YouTube, and he actually talks about how to determine whether somebody is lying. And then you have the FBI and the CIA. They have their experts in how to determine if someone is lying. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot tell me something and cause me to believe it and think that it's the truth. Okay? Not possible. I won't allow it, don't care about it, don't want to know about it. It's just not possible. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's just impossible. Okay? Not possible, ladies and gentlemen. I know many people continue to try, but it's not possible. I will end up not speaking to you again. I remember there was a guy who said he had some information to tell me, information that I was missing and that I just needed to have. And all he wanted me to do was talk to him. So I said, okay, I'm going to test him out because I know exactly where he's coming from. And we talked for over an hour. And I'm giving him tidbits, not giving him all the information, just tidbits. Telling him honestly what he should do. But I'm not going to give him all the information because I wanted to see if he was truthful about how he wanted to engage in our conversation, because the conversation started because he said he had some information for me. And he wanted, as he said, pay attention because he watched Silence of the Lambs, he wanted quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. You wanted quid pro quo, quid, Q-U-I-D, quid pro quo. Nah, you didn't want no quid pro quo. You wanted some free info. Quid pro quo is not free info. Quid pro quo is, here, this is what I got. Will you help me with what you got? And I would have been more than happy. You guys know me. I'll give information freely. But the only problem is, you ain't going to do me like that. So I did like that screen that just came on. I reeled him on in. Gave him just enough information to where he'd be wanting more. And then I cut the line. He's still got the hook in his mouth, still got the long string that he's dragging down the river, but he and me, we ain't got no more connection. He can't call me no more. I done blocked his number because I don't play that. You don't get to play me. So back to this video. This is the USDA Finance Director. He is one of the directors with the Department of the Finance Department, but he is listed as the Finance Director for the USDA. And this is a conversation to where he called me. And again, as I told him, I find it very disheartening that my government servants, employees, sit up here and fail to answer my questions. He is a lawyer. He didn't have to tell me he's a lawyer. I know he's a lawyer. Okay? And you're going to find usually the directors of these departments, if they ain't been there for years, they're usually lawyers. They bring them in, and that's how they get promoted, because the system is a system run with lawyers. Lawyers can play the word game. You see how he was prepared to only talk about, well, that's talking about loans and investments with investors or outstanding notes. Sir, I'm not calling you about no outstanding notes. I'm calling you just about the principle of the act. I need to know, where do we get this information from? Where do we get that information from? He never gave it to me. He said that I could send him an email. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to ask you all to send him an email, FOIA request email, and ask him to forward it to the proper department. But yes, we need the questions that I gave you specifically answered. We need to get the financial records of all single family guaranteed home loan program projects that have been foreclosed on in the past 5 years. We can do 2008, the past 9 years. Let's go back to 2008, the financial crisis. Okay? We need that comprehensive record with, and we want the comprehensive record, comprehensive financial record with notes, ledgers, term definitions, and notes and references. So notes, references, ledgers, term definitions. Okay? Just that simple. We don't need anything else. All the ones that were foreclosed on. And then we need a list of the qualifications and of all of the endorsed notes that have been received by the Director of Finance Office. And we also need to know what their procedures are for sending the Director of Finance Office to acknowledge receipt of the endorsed note. Just that simple, to acknowledge receipt of the endorsed note. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are finding some information. I can give this to you now because we've known about this, and I had a discussion with someone else Ladies and gentlemen, there is a process with the birth certificate, as we told you, due to notice of change of address. But most of you don't know that your birth certificate is held not by the county recorder, but you might think it's by the Secretary of State's Division of Vital Statistics. No, it's held by the Treasury. The treasurer for your state, the treasurer for your state, the treasurer for your state is the one where you should be finding out how do you get access to your estate, your funds in your account. I know it's a general question, but please understand, if it were me, I would be notifying them of their obligation and of your resignation of registered agent, and I'd be sending my bills to the treasurer along with the, pay attention please, 445 form. Now I want you all to understand, I can't show this to you nor can I talk about it. I have a young lady who lives in Denver, and she has just gone before the, pay attention, federal bankruptcy court. Denver. No, sorry. That's D. No. She lives in New Mexico. Sorry. I'm getting my cities messed up. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta pull up her account. 1 second. Okay. She lives in Arizona. I apologize. And this young lady living in Arizona, I can't tell you where she lives in Arizona because I don't want the district court to flag her account. So that's why I'm just going to let you know. She has delivered a 445 form to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. They have filed her documents and docketed her documents with the 445 form. The only problem is, unlike you all, I sent her a copy of my 445 form. When I sent her a copy of my 445 form, she took that copy and she filed it into the record with the clerk of the court, showing the clerk of the court that they had an obligation. Hold on 1 second. Do you all see this right here? Here is your Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals case number. Here is where they received it. Here is where they filed it. Here is where they docketed it. It doesn't get docketed until the fees are paid, ladies and gentlemen. Here is them accepting the document without the payment of fees. Let's go here. Okay, there we go. Do you see that? Fee payment authorization attached. Do you see that case number? They wrote that on there. I did not write that on there. You see the 7? The same 7 as there. Okay, they wrote that. See that 6? The same 6 that's there. See that 8? The same 8 that's there. I did not write that, people. They wrote that. Okay, they filed this. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals clerk of the court received this document. Now, this is an administrative writ of mandamus. It's a civil filing. It's under civil procedure, and it costs $700 to file this. I can tell you about it now because they dismissed it. And they claim that we're bringing a claim against the court, saying that as an administrative organization, it must follow administrative procedure, and they're failing to do that. And by us doing that, pay attention, they said, y'all can't do that. We ain't got no jurisdiction. Okay? They said they didn't have no jurisdiction. So I gave them originally in the document the right of review. And I told them in my bringing forth the right of review, pay attention. Mommy, he can't move it no more. Not that one. We want to do, I messed up. I know what to do. Hold on, pause it. Pausing. So pay attention. A person suffering legal wrong because of agency's action or otherwise affected or agreed by agency action within the meaning of relevant statute is entitled to judicial review. Well, the courts are federal agencies. That's why the 445 form specifically says, hold on, Lord forbid, we got to go down to the 445 form. And it gives the standard of review. Okay, now that's the administrative code. The courts are under the administrative code procedures. That's why I took it and I applied it because it applies to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. But pay attention. Hold on. Don't go too far. You're going too far. You just go way too far. You can't be going too far. You go too far and then people die. People die? Yes, people die. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to pay attention. You're paying attention? Let's pay attention. Let's see what this 445 form does. Proof of state license, proof of bond, and / insurance. Y'all see that, right? Hold on. Do you see? Type of organization, state, local government agency. Well, remember, the district court may be saying the United States District Court, but it is a state government agency. Okay? The courts, state courts, are a government agency. All you got to do is do your research. Okay, but this is not for you to fill out. This is for them to fill out. You don't have to take a look. This form doesn't have any information. It just has my authorization on the previous page. Okay, hold on. Let y'all see. Here's the authorization. Pay attention. Associated fees and/or costs for filing as a result of the provisions of law and the associated accounts that are utilized for payment of fees for services we attach the following, that was by mistake, voice recognition form, and do hereby grant authorization to this body for obtaining necessary fees associated with the presenting of this administrative writ of mandamus and other associated costs and/or debentures. Okay? We also attest as well as affirm that the aforementioned is true and accurate and presented on this June 29th, 2017, so help us God. Now remember, this was June. This was sent to the court in June. They said they didn't receive it until August 7th. That's a lie. Okay, that's a whole month later. No, that's how long it took them to file it because they didn't know what to do, but they were greedy. They wanted to receive those funds, and so they filed it. Okay? This is what I do. I provide you all proof. Hey, this looks like Puerto Rico. But it ain't. But it looks like it, but it ain't. But it looks like it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to something. There are so many things that you have the right to do, and there are so many things that you don't have the right to do. You need to stop insisting on your right. You need to simply do because you have a right. You need to stop asking for permission. You need to say, this is what my intentions are. If you notice, I explained what my intentions were throughout the document. When I'm responding to them, I'm letting them know what my intentions are. Do you understand that your intentions is the only thing that matters? All the other stuff is immaterial. But we're going to be talking about how you guys are going to be sending in your tendering of payment for your obligations very shortly. So I want you to stay tuned, stay and pay attention, and we will be talking soon. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good life, whatever it is. May it be good. Goodbye.